Hi, I'm excited this afternoon to be sitting here with Dr. Rashad Richey and excited for Beulah Heights and excited for this upcoming fall semester. And Dr. Rashad Richey is going to be one of our visiting professors lecturing in a class, leading through crisis and also leading with technology. So Dr. Rashad, what would be some of the exciting things that the students will learn in this class?
Well, Dr. Jackson, thank you for interviewing me today. This is different for me because usually I'm interviewing other people, right? And I think I'm a horrible interview, all right? Okay. So bear with me.
Okay.
I'm excited about being at BHU. When it comes to leadership, I'm so biased. I believe there are good leaders. I believe there are bad leaders. I believe there's ineffective leadership. And I know if we talk about leadership from purely an academic standpoint, we're saying, well, every leader has this commonality that they are influential. Well, that's true. But people can be leaders and influential in very dangerous ways. What we would like to dissect in this class, not only how your leadership impacts your immediate family, your community, maybe your church, your workplace, but how can you take who you are as an individual, what you've learned, your leadership, and expand that beyond the local community, into the marketplace, into mainstream ministry, etc. And so we will look at it from all of those dynamics. Leadership to me is about mass psychology.
Wow.
And it transitions over time. So what made someone a great leader 50 years ago may not necessarily be what makes them a great leader today.
Now, I like that point when you said that leadership is about mass psychology. And my area is psychology. And one of the things we learned in developmental psychology is that a crisis is a good springboard for growth. Now,
yes.
One of the classes you're going to be in is leading through crisis. So how do you connect that with and what's going to happen in the classroom concerning crisis?
There are so many levels to crisis. And there are times, I've been there before myself, where if you have a lot of charisma, you are engaging, you are gifted, and you have a personal crisis, and your leadership takes you to places where your character cannot sustain you because you met a personal crisis and you dealt with it the wrong way. When I look at crisis, I look at a crisis as a remarkable opportunity to show what you've learned and how you can overcome this crisis. I've worked in the world of politics for many years. We never let a good crisis go to waste. So if we can figure out how to transform that crisis, the message that comes with it, the comeback story that can accompany that crisis, overcome it, it becomes an example of your fortitude, of the strength you have as a wise and brilliant individual, someone who is authentic and able to overcome what everyone faces, and that's a crisis. I think it's a great testimony to a person's character when they do have crises that you can clearly see, but they've been able to overcome those crises and still remain strong in their leadership.
So one of the classes, the second class is going to be leading through technology.
Yes.
So how do you tie leading through technology with leading through crisis?
Every leader that's effective has to be an effective communicator. Technology is simply a medium for communicating the message that your leadership should connect to. So if you have a brand of being a prolific theologian, social media technology should be used in a way to promote that brand because that's part of your leadership brand. There are applications in Facebook, Twitter, and other places where you can gather these followers. I propose those followers that live in the realm of social media are just as important as the followers that you meet when you go to church or when you shake hands at your workplace or when you're out in the public or community meeting people. There are people that will depend on the content that you're sharing to say, this made my day, or I'm going to make a different decision based on what your social media posting said. So the effect of it can be just as dynamic. Doesn't matter that you're not having direct personal contact. This is another medium to put your message out to a larger audience. And I'm bringing something unique to the classroom as well. Mm-hmm. There are data programs These data programs can be adapted so that you can know who's in your local community. You can know how many school-aged children are in the households around you. You can know the people who are veterans, those who are school teachers, those who are likely religious contributors, those who are likely Christian, those who are likely Muslim. There are data programs that you can use to target these individuals. And you can do all kinds of things with that. You can do a voter registration drive if you chose. You can do a Veterans Appreciation Day from your ministry. If you are an owner of a company, you want to do a mailer and one of your products or services caters mostly to families with children, you can do that. And that's another area of leadership when you're taking technology and making it innovative. It's great to be creative, right? But being creative and being innovative are so different. Being creative means you're already an out-of-the-box thinker, right? You'll come with all of these great ideas. But you have to get creativity to a place of innovation. Innovation means you can market the creativity. You can make it work so that you benefit and somebody else benefits. And so that will be part of the dynamic I would teach in this fall.
That is so exciting. And again, I'm very excited about this because one thing as a chair over these departments, and one of the things I wanted to implement is to bring in people with not only just the academic side of it, but had the practical experience of doing it in the marketplace, because we're training them to be relevant Christian leaders in the marketplace and on a global context. So one of the things that I'm interested in is this conceptual leap from theory to practice.
Yes.
So give us a quick demonstration of what some of the things you're going to be sharing in these classes with the students as you and I co-partner in teaching this class.
One of and this is a practical example. Working in politics for as long as I have seen how we handle tragedy or crisis within politics change, not because of the tragedy or the crisis, but because of how people consume information. There was a time between 12 to 15 years ago when there was a crisis with an elected official. That elected official would employ the 4 Ds: duck, dodge, deny, and deflect. Okay? That used to be the protocol. When everyone now has the ability to consume information and to create information at the same time about one story, you can no longer simply employ the 4 Ds. So now the protocol is, if it's true, get ahead of it, say it, get it over with. Not because of the crisis, but because of the 24-hour consuming and distributing of information. Because if you get it out the way now, in less than 3 or 4 days, there's another crisis that has occupied the mind space of that same consumer of information. So that's a practical application, and that can be applied to a lot of things in life. And really, when it comes down to effective leadership, people want individuals who are authentic. And you know what's authentic? Messing up, making mistakes, overcoming those mistakes. That makes you great.
Well, I am excited about this, and I know that one of the fundamental definitions of leadership, that leadership is influence.
Yes.
And it's how you use that influence. How will you bridge that gap with the students in the classroom, in your lectures, and some of the course content that you're going to be introducing?
I will have a simple class philosophy: learn and apply. We will work on real world problems right inside of the classroom. If you be so bold as a student, I would like to hear your real world problem. And we can start using this as an opportunity to create solution, like a laboratory, where we're all kind of like mad scientists trying to figure out what works best. And we know what the theories say. But when theory is not met with a practical application, it's simply theory. But when theory can be practiced, you can expand on the theory, and now you have to tailor make the theory to fit your circumstance. So those are things we will do in the classroom. Even with some of our case studies, we will use local case studies of individuals who have been through crisis. Sheriff Victor Hill, 37 felony count indictment, had to go through a trial, found not guilty on all charges, and got reelected with the felony indictments on his record with 78% of the vote. So those are some of the things we will explore. Former mayor of Atlanta, Bill Campbell, had to serve a federal prison time. And how did he come through that crisis? And we have others to explore as well. But those gentlemen, stay tuned, may actually come in the classroom with us after we finish that case study.
That is going to be exciting, and I think that it is going to not only transform but empower our students with real life skills that they can take into the marketplace and to bring about a transformation in the world.
Head knowledge gets you really nowhere now. It's what you can apply effectively. And the world is changing to where thought leaders are the contemporary leaders. I know that may sound ironic given our current political situation, but thought leaders are 9 times out of 10 your new contemporary leader.
Well, you know, I'm excited, and I got to give all congrats to Dr. Karanja for being the spearhead to bring this union about, and I'm excited about
too.
Being able to learn from you in the collaborative process of in that classroom.
Thank you, sir. So am I.
Is it any closing statements you want to say to those students about this class?
Yeah, buckle up.